Hey guys, how are you? So we're going to do page 50, making, enforcing, and explaining the laws of the United States. Okay? So open your book to page 50 and just listen, okay? Making, enforcing, and explaining the laws of the United States. The legislative branch of the government is called the Congress. Senators and representatives are in the Congress. They make the laws of the United States. They work in the Capitol. The Capitol is a building in Washington, D.C. The president is in charge of the executive branch. The vice president also works in the executive branch. They enforce the laws of the United States. The president lives and works in the White House. The White House is in Washington, D.C. The Supreme Court justices work in the judicial branch. They explain the laws of the United States. They work in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is in Washington, D.C. Okay, repeat after me. Making, enforcing, and explaining the laws of the United States. The legislative branch of the government is called the Congress. Senators and representatives are in the Congress. They make the laws of the United States. They work in the Capitol. The Capitol is a building in Washington, D.C. The president is in charge of the executive branch. The vice president also works in the executive branch. They enforce the laws of the United States. The president lives and works in the White House. The White House is in Washington, D.C. The Supreme Court justices work in the judicial branch. They explain the laws of the United States. They work in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is in Washington, D.C. Excuse me. Okay, guys. So remember, read the story by yourselves, and then you'll have to write it 5 times, okay? Minimum 5 times just to give you practice, okay? Page 51, answer the questions, matching. Page 52, also answer the questions, okay? And now let me ask you a couple of questions. So number 1, name one branch or part of the government. So there's a few. The legislative branch, the legislative Congress, the executive branch, the president, the judicial branch, judicial, and the courts. I personally like Congress. So name one branch or part of the government. Congress. Number 2, what stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? Checks and balances. Number 3, who is in charge of the executive branch? The president. Okay, good. So now, open your notebook and we're going to do dictations, okay? Okay. Number 1. The Congress meets in Washington, D.C. The Congress meets in Washington, D.C. Okay, number 2. The President of the United States lives in the White House. The President of the United States lives in the White House. Okay, ready? Number 3. The White House is in Washington, D.C. The White House is in Washington, D.C. Number 4. United States senators meet in Washington, D.C. United States senators meet in Washington, D.C. Okay, guys, and the last one, okay? The president lives in the White House in Washington, D.C. The president lives in the White House in Washington, D.C. Okay, guys, so when you're done, open your book to page 240. We're still doing unit number 3 and correct yourselves, okay? If you made a mistake, it's okay. It's only practice. Just keep practicing, okay? Okay, and before we finish this video, majority of you guys have this sheet of paper, okay? So let's practice, okay? Just like in class, I say the word and you give me the answer, okay? Ready? Lied. To not tell the truth. Claim. To say. Hereditary or title of nobility. A king or queen. Legally incompetent. Mental problems. Mental institution. Mental hospital. Communist. Government like Cuba or a political system. Totalitarian. System like North Korea or political system. Terrorist. People like ISIS. Weapon. Gun. Habitual drunkard. An alcoholic. Prostitute. Sex for money. Illegal drugs. Crack, cocaine. Constitution. Supreme law of the land. Oath of allegiance. To be loyal to the United States. Bear arms. To carry a weapon to protect the United States. Non-combatant services, like a doctor or cook in the army. Kill. To take a life. Excuse me. Nazi. Government of Hitler. Genocide. To kill a group of people. Torture. To hurt someone. Prison or jail. Building for criminals. Arrested. police take you, gambling, playing cards for money illegally, deported, to be sent back to your country, armed forces, U.S. military, forcing sexual contacts or relations, rape, forcing sex. And remember, guys, when they're asking you the part 12 on the M400, just make sure you listen to them, okay? And take your time and answer, okay? And also, the key words, okay? Have you ever? No. Do you now have? No. Do you owe? No. Between March 23, 1933? No. Were you ever? No. Did you ever? No. Do you pay? Yes. Do you support? Yes. Are you willing? Yes. If the law? Yes. And remember, not everybody's going to have these answers, but at least 95% of you guys will. So when you hear, have you ever, do you now have, do you owe, between March 23, 1933, were you ever, did you ever, no, no, no. Do you pay, do you support, are you willing, if the law, yes. Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen? No. Do you pay taxes? Yes. Do you owe taxes? No. Are you willing to perform work of national importance in a civilian direction? Yes. If the law requires it? Yes. Have you ever, did you ever? Okay, guys? Okay, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.